Welcome to My Skeptical Sister.
I'm Erin the Believer.
And I'm Megan, the Skeptical One. And here we are post-live show.
Yes, now that we built it up for so long, now we're going to talk about how it went for so long.
One more week you all have to endure of us talking about it. Well, you get to hear the live show.
Yeah, you get to hear it, and then one more week of us analyzing it.
Exactly. But I think it went really good. It feels really good to be here with not a care in the world as far as my appearance.
Oh, yeah. I'm back to my little shorts and my Edward, Team Edward sweatshirt. My usual uniform.
Didn't check my teeth before I came over. Just threw on some flip-flops and got over here. And that feels great because I feel like you've seen me at my best and you've seen me at my worst. So I'm somewhere in between there right now. So
absolutely. I'm doing good. You look great.
Thank you. I don't really care. Either way, I really don't care in this moment. So
yeah, podcast is the perfect medium. Like when people say, "Oh, do you have a YouTube channel?" No,
hell no. The whole point is so nobody can see us
and get looking nice every week.
Oh gosh, that's so much work.
Oh man,
I looked exactly like this when I went to the grocery store earlier because I have hit that age where I just don't care. I remember being really young and putting effort into my appearance and thinking, oh, when I'd see somebody, middle-aged and be like, I wonder at what point they just kind of stopped caring. And I'm telling you, I'm here.
All right.
And I'm loving every second of it. Turns out these middle-aged people that I'm in this group with, we know what we're doing. We don't care. And it's fabulous.
Yeah. I think the pandemic rushed me into that because once I could wear a mask, I was like, who cares? And now that I'm not wearing a mask, I'm like,
I still don't care.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Don't care.
Yeah. One perk of the pandemic for sure.
Yes. It's funny.
So how's life been?
Well, it's a little stressful right now. You know this, but my youngest is at day camp right now, which is a good 45 minutes away. So I'm taking her to and from.
Oh, I didn't know it's that far.
Yeah, it's pretty far away. So I'm trying to make sure she's all set. And then my other girls go to camp on Monday, a week from today, but in the middle of that, I leave for my big, wonderful, kid-free vacation.
Right,
so solid week.
Who's helping you with all that scheduling?
I know, my wonderful, wonderful, beautiful sister, Megan.
You're welcome. That's why the diplomas are on you tonight.
That's right. Yeah, so I'm so excited. I can't wait. But there's just, if you've ever been to away camp, there's so many things to consider and pack and forget. Right. So I'm just a little bit stressed. I made them pack today and they don't leave till Monday. So I said, if you need to wear any of these clothes, you need to take them out. You need to put them in a special wash spot. Your dad will wash them this weekend and then you fold them and put them right back in. So
funny.
We'll see. Yeah. I'm sure it'll be fine.
It'll be fine. Like I said earlier, if you forget anything, you just call me and we'll figure it out. If you go and relax and in fact, don't even call me. If you forgot it, it's probably not worth it. Just let it come into your brain and then let it go out with the waves. It'll be fine. They'll survive and everything will be great. Even if they have BO because they forgot the deodorant, it will be okay.
I've already packed it.
Oh, look at you. See, you're ready.
Check, bought it today, packed it. It's in the toiletry bag.
Mom of the year right there. That is awesome. So you deserve a kid-free vacation. Don't guilt yourself at all. Go do it and have fun.
I'm really starting to get excited. I mean, we're going to Tybee Island.
Oh,
we're going to be there for 3 days. We're going to go to Savannah, for the whole week. But we're going to go to that island that we checked out once when we were talking about going on vacation.
Oh, I didn't know that. You didn't tell me that. I was like, why does that sound so familiar?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to hear about that.
That's around our beach days.
Oh, nice. And then you are going to do a little research in there somewhere, right? With some ghost tours.
We have a ghost tour starting at an old brewery.
Ooh, my kind of ghost tour.
Yeah, it's like a pub crawl ghost tour.
Oh, that sounds so much fun. I bet the more you drink, the more you're going to see ghosts.
That's right.
That's the skeptic in me.
No, that's the I'm letting my guard down.
Oh, is that what it is?
That's what it is.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And then a lot of the group were like, well, the ghost tour is fine, but I want to go and use equipment. I want to have whatever, Jack and Crystal were both like, I want to hold something and see if I can hear a ghost somehow. So they were looking into it. I don't know if we've actually booked that or not, but exciting. I'm down.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if anybody can plan something, those two, they'll make it happen if they want it to happen. So that's great.
Yeah.
That's really exciting.
And it's going to be awesome.
Well, I mean, I got nothing other than I have figured out. This is pretty genius of me. Okay. So I'm just going to brag on myself a little bit. I know it's kid oriented, but stick with me here.
I can't
I
wait.
have made my life a little bit easier because I've taken my youngest son's passion for playing in water
Okay.
and I've coaxed him into pre-washing the dishes after dinner.
Okay.
He was like, I love doing dishes, but of course I let him do the dishes, but then I go back and I wash all the dishes,
Right.
because he's 4, so, and I mean, sometimes I'm like, it looks clean enough, but then I think about where all his hands have been. I'm like, no, 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 I should go ahead and clean that again. But, anyway, so, and then I took my stepson, the 10-year-old's passion for Tetris and turned it into how to put the dishes in after they're pre-washed from so
Oh my
tonight.
goodness, you're a genius.
Tonight's dinner, I was like, oh, this is why you have children. This is it. People will joke and say that, but that's a real feeling you feel
Oh yeah.
when you figure out that they actually are capable of doing
Yes.
something other than getting on your nerves. It's like, this is amazing.
That's right.
So, I mean, I know it's not Savannah, but my life got a whole lot easier after dinner.
I'm so excited for you. Now you're going to have my kids for a week. What can they do?
Yeah. Oh, don't worry. I'll figure something out. I'll think about their passion and I'll figure out how to manipulate it into something I need done.
That is so nice. I'm just like, swipe the floor.
Yeah. Well, I mean, also Miles is really proud of having a chore.
Yeah.
Like he was like, oh, is this my chore? He's really excited. I was like, that's your chore. And then he's like, but is it my chore that I have to do? So now he's also really excited about like being angsty about having to do a chore. Like he'll sit there while he's doing it, loving every second of it. He's like, Penelope walked in. He's like, oh, Penelope, I'm having to do my chores. I'm like, oh, yes. I'm trying. I'm searching. I'm looking for reasons to love my kids in my life. And those little moments are there.
Good. You're nailing it.
Thanks. But anyway, that's all I got.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything else either. So we could just go right into it.
Oh, I did. The only other thing I wanted to say about the live show, sorry to go back to that, was if you're listening to the live show and you're a little bit confused about who Dan is, because we talk about Dan.
Oh, yeah.
So I just thought it would be worth mentioning, and a special thanks to him. He is with the Bourbon Ghost Hunters. And he came out and was kind of like our opener.
Yeah.
And so he spoke a little bit about his experiences with ghosts. I'm not laughing at that. I was laughing at myself and how hard it was to then get up there and be a total skeptic right after he got done telling his very personal, intimate, first person stories. And then I get up there and probably second or third line out of my mouth was, it's all bullshit. And I was like, oh, he's sitting like right behind me. So not his story, no, but yeah, it was fun to have him and we thank him a lot for coming. I don't know if he'll listen, but it's still a thank you out there.
It was a really interesting stories he gave. Sorry we didn't get that in the recording.
So thank you, Dan. And moving on to our stories for this tonight, right? Is that what you want to do?
Yeah, I think so. And you're up first.
Okay. I'm real excited about this. Okay, so this story.
I think you say that every week.
I get excited every week. Favorite part of the week, A, and B, our stories are always so good.
I know they are really good.
Like as I'm reading, every time, does not fail. As I'm reading them, like, ooh, this is good. Okay, so this comes from Charlotte. Hey girls, apologies if this ends up being a long story as it spans over a good few years from around age 12 until my early 20s. And also apologies if it gets a bit jumbled in my haste to get it all typed out. No worries, girl. We get jumbled all the time. When I was around 10, my parents bought a house in a North Devon village as our forever home. Until then, we had moved every 18 months or so as my dad was in the Air Force. It was your typical English cottage, nearly 400 years old, with huge exposed beams, a fireplace big enough for me to stand in.
Oh my gosh.
Even as an adult. It sounds like she tried that out. I'm like, that's a little scary. I would not do that. And wonky walls. I'm like, wonky walls? What does that mean? Interesting.
Well, if it was done 400 years ago, I'm sure it's not like up to code.
Yeah, maybe she just means like kind of wavy or like, absolutely beautiful and mega haunted.
Oh, I'm in.
Right? She had me at the exposed beams. I love a house with exposed beams.
Yeah.
Also a haunted one. Things started off innocently enough. I would wake up most nights feeling freaked out with no explanation and hear things creaking. Old houses settle, right? Not long after I started secondary school, age 12-ish, a friend and I were at home alone in the afternoon. Side note, although my friends would hang out at mine, nobody ever wanted to sleep over at my house. It was too creepy.
Oh.
My mom, love it. My mom was at work, my brother was out with friends, and my dad was working away. We were in the kitchen getting a snack when we heard heavy footsteps run across the landing upstairs.
Oh,
There
no.
was no way it could be anything else. Not the pipes creaking, floorboards settling, or boiler firing up. Definitely heavy booted footsteps.
Ooh, that just
Right?
makes me think of the others.
Oh, yeah, where there's always like running happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she goes up to yell at the kids and they're not there.
Ooh, oh, I need to watch that movie again. We
It's
talk
so-
about it a lot. It's so good.
It is good.
Needless to say, we were terrified. We started shouting and ran upstairs armed with a poker from the fireplace to find nothing. Then, when we told my mom what happened, she said we must have imagined it. Okay, then, Mom. We were both imagining the same thing, were we?
Mhm.
Sometime after that, we got a dog. He was forever sneaking upstairs at night to sleep on the landing, so it wasn't unusual to hear him on the stairs at night. One night, my dad was away, so it was just the three of us at home. I suddenly woke up as I heard a noise, footsteps on the stairs. I had a high sleeper bed, so I'm guessing it's like a bunk
Bunk
bed.
bed?
And in my bedroom, there was an internal window which looked onto the landing. I opened the curtain expecting to see the dog settling down, but oh no,
Oh.
this is in all capital letters. There was a man's face staring back at me.
No.
She's high, like it's a sleeper bed, so I'm imagining this window is up high, overlooking a
Oh.
landing.
My Lord.
Okay.
I was hoping, I mean, not hoping that she'd see a man, but I was hoping like his back was turned, walking down the stairs, but
Oh no, it's his face.
staring at
It was
her.
his face staring at her face. From my GD landing window inside my house.
Oh my gosh.
I screamed so loudly that I'm pretty sure I shattered glass. Damn single glazing. Mom came running, flung the door open, lights on. I was sobbing so hard I could barely tell her what happened. Now, my mom is not a skeptic by any stretch. She believes in spirits, but she told me that I must have imagined it and got frightened by my own reflection. Bear in mind, this happened nearly 20 years ago now, and I can still remember clear as anything saying to her, "But Mom, I don't have a beard."
Oh my God.
No, when I read that line, I was like, Erin's going to have a big reaction to that.
But now I kind of want to know, was he hot?
I know. We like bearded men. And also, the mom, I love it because she's a believer.
Yeah.
But she's like, go, listen.
I know. This is how I am with my kids.
Yeah, go back to bed. Nobody's got time for this. It's bedtime. Go to bed.
They'll say, oh, I definitely heard something. They'll freak out. I'm like, it was nothing. Get over this. I fully said, I think our house is haunted. They say it, and I'm like, go to bed.
Go to bed. It's fine. And then as you lay there, do you sit there and think like, oh.
I hope it's fine.
Yeah, right. Next time Dad came home, the window got boarded up and my bed got swapped to a normal single one. I slept. Yeah, they're like,
Yeah, Mom's saying it's
Yeah,
nothing.
either that or she's like, oh my gosh, I am not going to put up with this kid having more nightmares.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like she's probably like, you're fine. Oh, we'll board that up.
Right, honey, go take care of that now. I slept with the lights and radio on for years after that. Fast forward about 5 years or so, with plenty of other incidences, such as my mom, friend, and I smelling strange perfume while watching a film, or the rocking chair in the corner moving on its own.
Oh,
Right? Mom and Dad got divorced when I was 18, and Mom moved out to a flat about 90 seconds walk from the house. I'm like, that's cool. It's so progressive.
yeah.
I love that.
Sophie's got friends like that. And so when they spend the night, it doesn't matter where I drop them off. So I'm like,
I think that's so cool.
I do too. Way to co-parent.
Yeah, that's all very adult co-parenting. I stayed in the house with Dad, and my brother got a job with accommodations. I don't know what that is.
I think that's like they took care of housing and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So would come home once a week or so. My dad worked shifts, so often I was on my own in the house at night. These nights were the worst. I would wake up normally around 3 a.m. with a feeling of absolute dread and a cold sweat and hear people talking downstairs.
Oh,
I know. Or walking across the landing. I would often get up, put my shoes on, and run down the road to Mom's house in the middle of the night rather than stay there alone. I felt safer walking through our village in the dead of night than I did in my own bed.
Yeah, why don't you just go move in with mom?
I don't know.
With
I don't know.
mom.
Maybe she was taking care of the dog.
Oh, that's so scary.
Right. Many a morning, my mom would get up for work and find me asleep on her sofa after being too scared to stay home by myself.
Oh,
At least she had somewhere to go, though.
yeah, that's true.
Dad and I often discussed my experiences in the house as he was very open-minded and had a few experiences himself. One night we were talking about our experiences and I was getting really upset about the fact that I felt so terrified in my own home. Dad suggests that maybe we should hold a seance in the house.
Oh, Dad, that's scary.
To find out why the spirits that lived there felt the need to threaten me so much. And while we were discussing the pros and cons of this idea, my phone beeped. At the time, I had a BlackBerry and loved using BBM. And she says in parentheses, remember that? I didn't have a BlackBerry.
We weren't cool enough to have Blackberries.
So what do you think BBM is?
Like broad base masters.
You were almost there to the masters.
Beams, Madrid.
Yep. No, now you're just throwing words in there. Okay.
Oh.
I pulled my phone out to see who had messaged me. No new messages. But the message app was open and on the screen said Ouija.
Oh, spelled like O-U-I-J-A.
O-U-I-J-A.
Oh. Which some people pronounce Ouija. Side note. Isn't that weird?
That is really weird. I've never
like
heard that.
It's half and half. People either say Ouija or Ouija.
Well, Ouija would actually make more sense than Ouija.
Ugh,
when it's
that's
spelled.
weird to me. I don't like it.
It is weird. It is weird. I've always only heard Ouija. Okay.
Take a poll. Tell us what you say. That was a total side note. Sorry.
How did that even happen? The phone had been in my bag with the keypad locked. I couldn't think of a reasonable explanation as to how that got typed. No way could my dad have done it. He's a technophobe. Bless him. Needless to say, I wanted to GTFO. For anybody that's as old as I am, that's get the fuck out. Right that second.
I loved your airline voice.
Yes, thank you. That's my over the loud announce. Yeah, the announcement. Okay. Instead, I did what any reasonable person would do and lost my shit.
Yeah.
I started screaming that these spirits needed to back the F off and get the F out of my house, as I hadn't slept properly for years and had no time for their bullshit. And guess what? It worked.
Ooh.
Right? There were some minor creaks and noises after that, but nowhere near as bad as it used to be. If I heard anything, they'd promptly get told where to go. I moved out of the house in 2012 when I moved in with my husband. He's a huge skeptic, but he always swore he would see shadows moving in the mirror that hung in the lounge and refused to look up at it. After I left, yeah. So even
I just won't look. It's fine. It's fine. I'm just not going to look
quickly, there. Quickly, walk by. After I left, my dad sold the house, and I'm so relieved I don't have to set foot in there ever again. Still feeling skeptical. Much love, Charlotte. Oh. And I forgot to tell you, which I'm glad I didn't. The subject line was, "Who knew spirits could use BBM?"
Oh, nice. It really kind of sounds like a sexual term.
I know.
It's BDM.
Is it? How do you know?
Yeah, like bondage.
Oh.
BDM, right?
Again, learn something new about you every week.
Oh my gosh.
Too funny. Yeah, so that's an incredible story. So, well, what do you think? What do you think about the Ouija part?
Okay, I think that it was clearly a bunch of stupid boys who lived in this house. Like ghost boys.
Oh, I was like, wait, she only talked about one brother. Okay.
No, they're messing with her.
Okay.
They're trying to scare her. And then finally, when she's like, okay, that's enough. Mm-hmm. They're like, oh shit, fine. And then they stop. Like she put them in their place.
Okay.
Yeah. I think they're a bunch of like teenage or young men.
Okay. Well, before I debunk, I was going into like the believer realm of things and thinking, what if those spirits really wanted her to have a seance? So I mean, like they were like trying to push her in that direction of like, yes, and what we need is the Ouija board.
Right.
We have a message to tell you
on a Ouija board.
Right. That's kind of like if I were in her shoes, that I would have been like, oh my gosh, like they're like aggressively reaching out to me. But I'm a skeptic. And so in true skeptic manner, second thought was Big Brother.
You think Big Brother is messing with her that much?
I think the whatever, like the troublemaker that you were just talking about is
Yeah.
actually like a fresh out of college guy working for Big Brother and was like, I can't pass this opportunity up. I'm gonna freak this girl out. Like listening in on their conversation through her BlackBerry and types it out, hacks it.
What? That
Yeah,
seems
like the same way our iPhones listen to us and like,
yeah, but I don't know anybody who can hack a message in.
oh my gosh, I don't know anybody personally, but if you don't think that they can't hack into our phones, are you kidding me?
Well, you think he's working for the
Yeah,
government?
totally.
Wait a minute. You know, are you saying Big Brother as in the government or her Big Brother?
No, I'm saying Big Brother isn't like the government, or like I don't even know if they're the
Oh
government
my
at this
gosh,
point.
that is so malicious. That is your worst. That's your worst debunk.
Whatever.
That is
I
so
totally
dumb.
think that's possible. I think it's possible. I think here's what I think. I think because the fact that you and I are normal people and we would never think that would happen, that's what would give that person the nerve to do that. Like, there's no way they're going to explain this like this. But the technology.
Oh
listen,
my gosh, that's ridiculous.
I know now I'm kind of slipping into conspiracy theories, but for real, seriously. I mean, what, that one time you talked about your Diva cup?
Oh yeah, I did.
And like before I got home, I had never heard of that before, and then it like popped up on my Facebook ads. I'm like, okay,
yeah. Listen, it's weird and it's a little scary, but it's also so convenient.
It is very convenient.
I've been on the cup for years, and it's because I had one verbal conversation with Jewel about it.
Yeah, and then you and I had a verbal conversation, and I remember being like, guess what? It happened to me too.
Yeah.
I mean, that right there proves that people are listening in.
Right.
Robots, people, whatever.
Kevin and I watched the movie Twister yesterday, and ever since then, all my TikToks are about tornadoes.
Oh, that's so weird.
Isn't that really weird?
I mean, it is, but it proves this point more.
I know.
There's always somebody listening.
But they're not like interacting in a way of hacking.
Oh, I'm sorry. They're not interacting as in then they pop an ad into your
popping
feed.
Ads. Sounds like that. Popping ads, and I don't know. But no, but I don't think they're going to. I mean, you would get fired for that, for sure.
If anybody found out, yes.
No,
I mean, one time this person hacked the road signs on Lower Brownsboro Road.
Uh-huh.
And it was the funniest thing I've ever seen. It was like, or zombies ahead, and then it like flashed apocalypse happening. I know.
Oh my gosh.
I know. And everybody driving by was like honking and like, what the hell?
I would not do well in that situation.
Oh, it was so funny. Like I think I took a picture of it. It was when I was living with Jack. And,
oh
and I
my
was
gosh.
like, that is the funniest thing I've ever seen because it looks so official.
Yeah.
But somebody did that. So that's what I'm saying is that somebody listening in on this conversation was like, watch, I'm going to freak this girl out. And it worked. Now, here's what I'm going to say to the other part of it. Like the seeing the reflection in the mirror. I don't know, like that, things like that kind of flash and it happens. And she could have been, she hears like in her mind, it's a booted,
not that time. Well, she just heard steps. She thought it was the dog.
No. But what I'm saying is the very first time she was like the footprints or the footsteps were so heavy that they sounded booted. Like, so in her mind, she's already kind of picturing what this person or this spirit looks like. So she's got this idea in her head, probably a bearded man, because that's what I would go to, as well. My mind, they're always bearded. But so she's got this idea. So when she starts to get creeped out about hearing something over the landing, it's almost like she expects to see that person, and she, brings it back, and then boom, it flashes, and she's terrified. So I think that was kind of her brain playing tricks on her a little bit, as far as like everything kind of calming down after she yelled or took charge. I think that maybe, a lot of times our mind plays tricks on us more often when we're under stress. And I don't know how stressful her parents' divorce was. That's a pretty intimate detail that I don't know she feels comfortable sharing, but who knows how stressful it was. Might not have been. They sound like great co-parents, but if it was at all, maybe this was a time period in her life where stress was causing a lot of these unsettled feelings to happen. And then she gets into kind of taking charge in that moment of like, look, back off, like whatever this feeling is, whatever this energy is. And she kind of, maybe in that moment, kind of like, I took care of it, and then that just settled her a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think that's it at all. I could see anything else, but having that on your phone, if I were going to go the skeptic route,
Mm-hmm.
I would say, what if at some point somebody in their group said the word Ouija
Yeah.
and it like picked up
The
voice to
talk
text?
yeah, voice to text. That's true. See, oh, that's good. I should have gone with that one.
That would be my debunk that I would believe way more than a government hacker was like, I'm going to mess with this kid.
You never know.
It's ridiculous.
I would die laughing if like one of us got a text message right now.
Oh my gosh. If that happens, I will
just said Ouija.
I will not believe in ghosts. If that happens right now, I won't believe it.
Come on, big brother. Do it.
Okay, so we just heard a big brother debunk. And now we're on to my story.
Okay. Ready for it?
My story isn't super scary.
Okay.
But just a lot of little unexplained things.
Okay. I'm down for that. I love that.
Okay. So this says, "Hi, my name is Joe, she, they, and I've had 3 similar incidents that I would love a skeptic's point of view on."
Okay, girl, I'm here for you.
The basic incident is like this. I place an object down, turn around for a moment, and when I turn back, the item is gone. Then fast forward a few months, and I'll find the object in a completely different place. I have no explanation.
Toddler.
I don't she doesn't ever mention a child.
Yeah. How many people live in your house? Do you live with a prankster? Is his name Jack Jacobs?
I'm about to give you 3 examples.
Oh, okay.
The first time I put my car keys on the kitchen table. I was home alone and my animals were accounted for and don't go on the table anyway. I turned away from the table to grab my coat off the coat hook on the wall. It only took me about 10 seconds at most to turn back to the table. My keys were gone. I couldn't find them on the floor or anywhere. I ended up grabbing the spare keys and going on my way. 9 months later, in all caps, I found my keys on the passenger side floor of the car, just laying there in a way that anyone would have immediately spotted, which means they hadn't been there in the entire 9 months. I had been driving that car with the spare keys.
Okay.
Oh,
you want me to debunk now?
Well,
I was waiting for
going.
permission. You didn't like what I was doing? Okay. Yeah, keep going. Keep going.
Okay.
Let me hear the other examples.
Okay. The second time had to do with a pin on my backpack. I noticed that the metal pin part was still on my backpack, but the decorative part was gone. I assumed it had fallen off, so I retraced my steps. I looked around everywhere my backpack had been since I had last seen the pin as a whole, so I had thoroughly checked my work, my home, and my car. I couldn't find it, so I assumed it was long gone. A week later, I found the decorative part of the pin sitting on the driver's seat of my car. It's like always car related.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It was so obvious that I would have definitely seen it had it been on my seat for that week. No one has access to my car other than me, and I never said anything to anyone about the missing pin. It just appeared. Thirdly, you want to debunk now or you want to go?
Nope, keep going. I have some stuff to say.
Okay, good.
But like it shifted. The first story made it shift. Once I heard the second story, I was like, oh, okay, maybe I'm going to go a different route. So
okay. Now I kind of want to know what you are going to tell me. What
sure,
you said
I will tell you all my thought process.
Okay. Thirdly, I was trying to put a necklace on that had a crescent moon pendant on it. As I brought the necklace around my neck, the moon pendant slipped off and fell onto the floor of my bedroom. I heard it hit the floor, but I didn't see it land. I tore that room apart. I looked through everything in the area I had heard it fall. I even checked the bedding and laundry baskets. Even though she heard it fall on the floor, she heard it hit the floor, but she's still like, it's got to be somewhere.
Right.
My fiance found it about 2 weeks later, today, the day she's writing this.
Oh, weird.
Nowhere near where I had lost it, but admittedly, it was in the same room. I had previously checked that area as well. I don't know how I could have missed it, and I didn't tell him I had lost it. By this point, I assumed that it would go the way of the car keys and the pin piece, and thankfully, it did. I can't wait to listen to your podcast. I'm trying to restart my YouTube channel, Joe's Ghost Diaries.
Oh.
I know. I'm going to check it out.
Yeah.
Please check out what I have so far and let me know what else you'd like to see. Maybe we can collab.
Hey, girl. Yeah, let's do that. That's awesome.
I know. Very cool.
Okay. So originally, the first story with her car keys, I was thinking just a simple brain lapse, you know, like you just you thought you had them in your hand. You know, you're busy, you're carrying everything in. And I mean, I've done that a million times.
Yeah.
And then you set everything down. You're like, I know I set them right there because, again, that's like a habitual thing that you normally do. Maybe that's where you always set your keys. So you can almost picture yourself doing it.
Yeah.
So in your mind, you think that. And then really, while you're gathering all this stuff up, they slipped out of your hand onto your floorboard.
But then she didn't see those for 9 months.
Right. For the 9 months part, I mean, next person got into her passenger side could have accidentally kicked them under the seat. She didn't think to look in the car because she thought for sure they were in the house. And then she makes a sudden stop. They move forward. Boom, there are the keys.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe you think that's happened to you all the time, but really a ghost is doing it to you.
Well, then I have a very lively ghost because I lose stuff all the time. And I don't, it's so funny to me because I never go to mysterious. Like I never, it's just an interesting thing. Like some people go that route. Mine is always like, I've always blamed myself. Like, of course, you know, there it is. So I just think it's interesting that different people, their brains work in different ways.
Yeah. I think the 9 months later is the part that is tricky.
Yeah. I mean, that is a long time. It is a
really
long time. Now, I do know that my car is also pretty messy all the time. So, you know, or again, a prankster, that would be a pretty mean trick for 9 months later, especially car keys. So if that's the case, that person's just a dick and get away from that person. But then it shifted to like the second story. My brain started kind of going, maybe I'm going to go squatter. And I know that that's a weird thing, but what if it is a super helpful, friendly,
that's so nice.
And then when we kept talking about it being in the car, it reminded me of that episode we've talked about it before, but that criminal episode with the homeless person that was squatting in their car.
Yeah.
Oh no, we talked about the other one. Wasn't it the one that was the helpful person was up in the attic? Yeah.
But then they had like a spin-off of that episode where there was a squatter in her car and she started to figure it out. So she would write in little notes like,
I know.
It's fine.
And she would take care of him. Like she would make sure that she left warm stuff in her car for him to like sleep under. And
right.
That is the nicest way to handle that situation ever. I bet that person was so grateful to have somebody with such empathy.
I know.
So maybe it's like reverse, like this squatter who is not harmful, not there to hurt, but saw that button drop and was like, oh my gosh, I need to, like, I can't reveal myself, but I'm going to make sure she can find it somewhere and she'll look in her car for it. I don't know. But I think my mind kind of went there because both of the first stories happened with a car.
Yeah.
And so then I thought about that one story. So that's just kind of the way my brain filed all that. But but then the third story, what was the third story?
The pendant on her necklace. And she looked everywhere and then her boyfriend found it 2 weeks later.
Yeah, I don't, you know, gravity is a weird thing. Like gravity and like the way that things it should be right there. And then you look and you look and you look and it's like scooted all the way to the left or to the right where you.
I don't know. She said she looked in the area that it was found though.
I mean, again, helpful squatter. Squatter sees it drop, is like, oh gosh, how do I do? I want her to find it somewhere.
So he's not just in her car. He's just like a stalker squatter. He's like,
or a guardian angel.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like a little bit of a guardian, somebody there. And again, we talked about that in another episode. I don't know how I feel about that or the Fray. I mean, you could really, it's not a ghost story.
The Fray or is it the Fae?
Get it wrong every single
time. The Fray
time.
is a band.
I know it is a band.
I was like, I don't know what the Fray is.
I totally did that last time too. I called it the Fray. And I didn't even, it's definitely because it's a band. That's why it's in my brain. The Fae, and because I don't really believe in it. So it's not anything I really, like Sasquatch, I'll never mess up that name because I totally believe in that. But anyway, no. So maybe the Fae.
Yeah.
Maybe it's, you know, some sort of like little, what are they called? Are they sprites?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like a little sprite that's like following you around, like, oh, she dropped her little bit. That would be so cute. Like, I want that to exist.
I feel like sprites are kind of buttholes, aren't they? They're like
troublemakers. Well, maybe they like caused it, but then they've got like a heart of gold underneath all that, all those layers of like prankster, they start it and he moved the keys and then
They're like little Sour Patch Kids. First they're sour, then they're
and then
sweet.
they're sweet. Like, I'll give them back.
I still love those commercials.
Don't remember.
Oh my gosh, they were so good. They would like trip the kid and he'd be upset, and then then it was like this big gummy thing.
It reminds you.
Emily.
My best friend, oh my gosh, she was so funny. She told us a story about one time she slapped a little girl in the face on the bus. But she was also a little girl. But she slapped her in the face just so she could then console her and be very motherly, like, it'll be fine. Like, could you imagine being that little girl? Oh, it's hilarious. So Joe, if you're going the skeptical side, Joe, I mean, maybe you're just a little forgetful or you just, nobody knows when they're about to lose something. Otherwise you don't ever lose anything.
That is a point.
Right. So you're not really fully focused or paying attention in that moment.
Yeah.
So, and then it's like, oh, where did it go? It's gone, and then that shock is, well, it's got to be something, so right. I don't know. I think I've done that a million times. Now I haven't had anything show back up. Like, that's fortunate.
I have, and I've told that story in the pod before about my necklace showing up.
Yes.
We had looked, everybody in the
right.
house had looked,
right.
And then it was just laying right there.
I will say, okay, we did have, what was it that we lost the other day? Oh, the cord to the laptop. Because we wanted to try Audacity out on our laptop because it wasn't working on yours. We looked that house over for the cord, and then it just showed up, like sticking out kind of in the basement.
Yeah.
Here's my theory on that. 10-year-old kid. 10-year-old kid last had the laptop, knew he was responsible for that cord. We were coming down hard on, like, you were responsible, whatever. Looks everywhere, finds it, and is like, I'm not going to admit that I lost it in a place that I said I looked. And so I'm just going to set it out strategically where it's going to get found.
I fully believe that happens. But yes. I feel like she would have mentioned.
Right. Kids.
And she brings up her pets to blame. So I feel like she's willing to apply blame.
Does she have a pet monkey? Because they are.
I need them longer.
With their little fingers.
Oh my god!
And they're so good at grabbing things.
You said that like it was such a normal thing to say.
I mean, people have monkeys as pets, and they've got these cute little fingers, and they can grab and snatch and hide, and they're sneaky.
Yeah. Or a niffler. That's a Harry Potter reference.
I have no idea.
Oh man. Oh gosh.
So okay, here it
monkey.
Is.
All right.
She's got a pet monkey, or it's a sprite.
Okay, all right.
Or she's, just a little forgetful.
Or it's a ghost. I am still on board. Although I would actually tend more to like the Fae or something like that, because why would a ghost just to mess with you, just to be like annoying?
I mean, like you said earlier, a prankster, like a little.
But yeah, I feel like sprites are more like that.
Yeah.
And let me just tell you that my entire knowledge of sprites is from Sophia the First. So I could be getting this way wrong, but I feel like
I think you are right. I think you are right because in like what's that one movie?
Malevolent, Maleficent.
In Maleficent, I feel like there's some sprites that do some like naughty things, like they're real silly and whatever. But
right.
But again, could be a very friendly squatter, and if that's the case, he sounds or she sounds very helpful.
Yeah, keep them around.
Right. And I did like in the last story, she was like, I just kind of gave it up to like, it'll come back around. I will find it. I mean, that's a nice little bit of relief of like, I'll find it.
I'm still doing that with my AirPod I lost back in February, but
if you could get Joe's sprite to come visit you.
Joe, please share. Right. I would love that AirPod back. It was on my kitchen table and then it was gone.
I feel like that was Miles.
No, Miles wasn't there. I'm telling you.
He's sneaky. He is like a sprite. He's like a grown 4-year-old sprite.
Oh, man.
All right. So.
Okay. Well, thank you, Joe and Charlotte, for your stories. Those were both really good. You're both clearly haunted. We kind of got through them quickly though, and our last episode, other than the live one, was pretty quick. So I think let's just go ahead. I opened up the email I say go for it. We're going to read one.
Do it.
I have not pre-read this at all.
So if there's a trigger warning, we don't know.
I have no idea. I can go back in time when I edit and let you know.
Man, you're fancy.
I'll put it in the description. I don't want to re-record anything. I'm going on vacation. Okay, we've heard from Vicky before. This is Vicky.
We loved her last story.
This is our best friend from Essex.
That's right. And so this is our second story from the UK.
Oh, that's right.
In one night.
Joe, where are you from? What if it's all three?
We are international, bitch.
Did you just call me a bitch?
Well, in a good way, though. Like, yeah, bitch. Like in a cool, hip, I'm really cool way. Did you not pick up that?
Yeah, no, I got it.
Okay.
Okay, so Vicky writes in, hello again, lovely ladies. Great.
Okay.
I promised my second story and finally got around to writing it. I'm not sure myself what this experience was, but I'm interested in your take on it. Here goes. There was a stretch of road that I used to drive down every day. It is a long, straight stretch, which then goes down a hill with a right-hand bend at the bottom. I had driven this road thousands of times and become a little complacent. One evening, I was coming down the hill, in hindsight, going too fast, approaching the bend, when suddenly I had an image flash in my head of a young boy standing at the side of the road. He was wearing a white shirt and holding his hands up in a stop, be careful gesture. I missed one. I didn't physically see him in front of me, but rather as an image in my mind. It probably sounds weird, but it was enough to make me slam on the brakes and slow right down. I just felt like I needed to slow down urgently. As I got to the bend, a motorcycle came around the corner, going the other way. He had taken the corner too fast and drifted into my side of the road. I braked again, and we narrowly missed each other. If I hadn't slowed down just beforehand, then I would have definitely hit the motorbike. I was pretty shaken at the time, but by the time I got home, I'd put it in the back of my mind. Okay, and I did go ahead and read this while you made your next drink. There's a bit of a trigger warning coming up about we're going to hear about an accident and some deaths regarding children.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Not to spoil it. It's like weird. It's like I want to give you a trigger in case you can't handle it, which is fine. But also now I've kind of spoiled it. Fast forward a few years, and I was meeting my boyfriend, now husband's granddad. We were chatting, and he was asking me all about my family. He asked what my dad did for a living. I answered that he was in the police. My husband's granddad said that he had also worked in the emergency services as a paramedic. He then proceeded to tell me about his worst day, a day that still haunted him 40 years later. He was called to a road accident. A minibus carrying 11 children and a teacher had collided with a lorry and had lost control on a bend. 6 children and the teacher were killed, and my husband's granddad was first on the scene. Oh, can you imagine? That's horrible.
It's horrible.
Guess what stretch of road it was on? Yep, you guessed it. I had never heard this before. It wasn't a local school. It was a school passing through on their way back from a school trip. I went home and asked my dad if he had heard about it when he was in the police, but he hadn't. He wasn't stationed locally. I Googled it recently, and there are newspaper stories referencing it, but they're fairly recent articles talking about the anniversary. I still don't know what it was that I saw in my mind that day. Was it a spirit? Did I have a psychic moment? Maybe the trauma of the accident imprinted itself on the stretch of road? I don't know. I like to think that it was something trying to warn me of danger ahead. I think of that boy every time I drive that road now. What do you think? Still loving the podcast. Vic, kiss, kiss.
Wow.
Whew. Isn't that is big.
Chill story. Yeah.
I know. And this was our bonus.
I know, right? Wow. What a good story. Okay. Before you had read the second part, I got really curious about the way intuition works, because I feel like humans, the more we learn about the way our bodies and brains work, the more interesting it is. Like survival mode is so fascinating, adrenaline pumping, those things. So to me, I thought, I wonder if like your intuition is so smart that it has a way of manifesting itself into something that it knows you will pay attention to.
Right.
If that makes any sort of sense, I might get a weird feeling, but I might just keep going. But if I have a flash of something,
Yeah.
is that going to make me pay more attention? So my brain comes up with like it knows me so well
Yeah.
that it's like, I got to give a visual to make sure she listens.
Right.
I'm talking as though your brain is like Pinky in the Brain, like that, like a little, but if that means, I'm just spitballing out loud. But basically, just so the brain is so fascinating. But then she had that second story to back it up. And
Yeah, that she's never heard of.
right. She had never heard of, that she thinks she had never heard of. Because
Okay.
sometimes I wonder if we don't hear things in passing, or we don't hear, we have so much information flying at us daily that for our brain to comprehend that much, it's like a filing cabinet. You just kind of put it back in a file. And it might have been information at that time that she might have thought was sad, but it didn't necessarily affect her life. So she just kind of forgot about it and didn't think about it until, for whatever reason, she was on that road. The name of that road kind of popped up. The image popped up for whatever reason, even if it is just a total coincidence. Thank God it happened.
Right.
So, I mean, that would be going way into the skeptic realm of things, even a little bit too far for me, because that is a huge coincidence.
Yeah.
That is kind of undeniable, that a little boy would be standing there and a small child died there.
I know. It's so sweet that like this spirit is like, well, all right, I guess this is what I'll do now.
Right. I'll
like, slow down.
I'll warn. Yeah. Like, this is a warning. I
Right.
love the way she wrote it, and did this trauma imprint itself.
Yeah.
Wow. Like, that's a fascinating idea. Not necessarily ghost.
Right.
But just like the actual trauma, because if anybody believes in the effects of trauma, I mean, I've seen it firsthand in the job that I have. So, that energy is real and present and strong,
Right.
and manifests itself in lots of different ways. So the impact of trauma, I'll say that's one of the first times in this podcast that it's gotten me to pause a little bit on, what do you believe as far as that, like a traumatic experience happening?
Yeah. Interesting.
Wow. Yeah.
Way to go, Vicky.
Way to go, Vicky. You got me. You got me. Like, I don't even, it is whatever the reason, whatever was behind it. I'm so glad that you heeded that warning and you were safe, and that motorcyclist was safe. Very tragic about that bus crash. I mean, that's just heart-wrenching.
So what are your thoughts? I know we've talked before, but I've had 3 Palomas.
Yeah, let's get into it.
What are your thoughts on psychics?
I'm more of like a skeptical believer in that realm.
Okay.
Like, it would take me a lot to believe in it, but I do feel like people have, well, there's also different kinds of psychics. Like, if we're talking like somebody who can channel a ghost and then talk, because I don't believe in ghosts, I don't necessarily believe that. But that energy part of it, like, I think that some people are very in tune with spirituality, or they're very in tune with things that I'm not. So, like that lady who did my reading, for whatever reason, she knew that I was very professional. Like, that's a very big passion of mine, and she focused in on that. So I don't know if it was something like she was just able to read people really well.
Yeah.
And there was something I gave off in that vibe, and she picked up on that and could kind of run with that. So I don't know. I think that there's a lot of room for a con.
Yeah.
And that worries me. So I'm always kind of skeptical, especially when I see people who just hook, line, and sinker, dive right in. They give their money to it. There's just so many cons out there that I get very skeptical, which is a shame, because I mean, I'm sure that there are people out there who do feel certain energies that I can't explain.
Yeah.
So
I just feel like I wonder if Vicky's ever had anything else kind of psychic happen, because I wonder if I was driving down that road, if I would have seen that same image, or like, question. Is that spirit sending that message
just to her,
to anybody who's in danger, or
and she picked it up? Yeah. It's like a beacon. It's just out there. Like, hey, I want everybody to slow down on this curve.
Right.
or was it just because of that incident?
Right. But like I'm saying, had I been driving down the road at that same time, would I have noticed anything? Or was it because Vicky?
Right. Yeah, I get it.
So I don't know. That's interesting.
It is. That whole story is fascinating.
I know. That's a good one.
Yeah, good job, Vicky. And thank you for giving us that extra bonus. I'm gonna call it. It's a UFO for me. I don't know how to explain that other than, just the first part, like your intuition was up. Maybe it could be a coincidence that.
But her intuition wasn't even really up because she's so.
Right. She was saying she's kind of like on autopilot.
Right.
But that's what I mean. That's kind of what I was thinking. Like, what would it take for you to come out of that autopilot mode?
Yeah.
So like some part of her survival brain was like, there is a threat about to happen, or there's something about to happen. Like, so it was almost like that internal part of her trying to scream at her, like, snap out of this autopilot, hey, you're going too fast. Like there was a little part somewhere inside of her that knew this is dangerous.
Yeah.
But the rest of her brain is just kind of going through the motions. And so it's like, what do I need to come up with to make you pay attention?
Yeah.
Oh, a flash, an image, but then you read that second part and it's like, what could have been an image of anything that would have made her go, wait, what's going on?
Right.
And it was an image of a small child.
Yeah.
So that is, you got me, Vicky. You got me. I feel like maybe she got me on our last one too.
Yeah, I think so.
Vicky.
Keep them coming, Vicky.
I'm kidding. I love them. They're great stories. I do. I like the ones that keep me stumped because they'll keep me thinking about it for a while. Like, what do I think about this?
It's so much easier. Just come to my side.
Well, I mean, it's kind of fun. I like stories that stick with me and make me question things because I don't know. I feel like we're not to get too deep, but I kind of feel like we got deep there for a second anyway. But I don't know. I feel like we need to always be questioning ourselves and always learning from ourselves or learning about ourselves and learning from our past mistakes or things that we used to believe in, then maybe now we don't. And so glad you read that story.
Me too. I'm glad we put that extra one in, and I didn't even vet it first. I mean, it's good.
Yeah, it was really good.
Okay, so it's time for fan favorite.
Ooh, I'm ready.
It's my turn. I've had a couple weeks off. Here we go. Okay, so our fan favorite is one of our fans who's been around since the beginning. I don't know what group. I think we shared a group when we first started this. Maybe it was like a mom group or something.
Okay.
But Candace has been around since the beginning and has been active. She's a Patreon.
Oh,
she
nice.
is very,
I love Candace.
I know. She's very active on our Facebook page, and she's great. Because she was so early on, we've kind of, if you've sent us a friend request and we haven't really met you in person, we've kind of stepped back a little bit from accepting everybody. So
because we're getting so big, y'all.
But just to, put a little bit of space there. But Candace was at the beginning and requested us. So we were like, oh my gosh, okay. And so we've kind of developed this friendship. So Candace, and I'm going to tell you her whole name. Yerkes McLaws.
Oh, you gave multiple names.
Because I said, hey, I'm picking you as our fan favorite. Finally, what have I been doing?
Right.
And she was like, oh, that's seriously the sweetest. I wish I was crafty. Maybe you can just have them friend me on Facebook and follow her weight loss journey because.
Oh yeah. She's doing amazing things.
Yeah, she is. She's shrinking before your eyes to get healthy she's got 2 small children and she's, trying to live a healthier life, and she's very inspiring.
That's awesome.
I am almost inspired enough to
stop drinking.
Stop drinking.
I bet she didn't drink as much as we do, which good for her.
Yeah, good. Because,
Yeah.
Girl, I have packed it on. But
Me too, but I don't mind it. It might be the pandemic. I'm like, it'll be fine.
I know. All bodies are beach bodies.
All bodies are beach bodies.
But if you are trying to get healthy and want that kind of motivation.
That is true. I do want to get healthy. I don't really care about the weight look of it, but I am like, dang, I am getting old.
Yeah, my knees hurt when
my knees hurt. Yeah, you're right. Okay, let's all get on Candace's side and let's do this.
Yes, she is very inspiring. If you want that, that inspiration, that message of come on,
and to watch a transformation, really transformation in any way, whether it's weight loss or just a person going on some sort of journey to better themselves in any sort of way is so inspiring to watch, I think.
Yeah, I do too. I definitely think so. So if you want to become Candace's friend, just find her on Facebook at Candace Yerkes McClaw. I said, oh, I don't normally say last names. Can I say your name? She's like, yes, of course you can. So
unless you're a creeper. If you're a creeper,
then
listen,
stay away
we're
from
protective
Candace.
of her. Do not go there. Creep on somebody else that we don't know.
Also, if you're a creeper, why are you listening?
And also just stop being a creeper. Don't go creep. I just told him to go creep on somebody else. No, how about this? If you're a creeper, stop creeping. Go get help. Seek therapy. Something.
Yeah. That's right.
Right? Okay.
Yeah, I'm down. Don't be a creeper.
Candace, amazing job in your journey, your transformation. And I mean, I know I look at I'm like, dang, girl, she is rocking it out. So
yeah.
Keep on keeping on, girl. And we are proud of you.
That's right. She's also on TikTok. I don't know what her name is on there.
Ooh, I don't watch TikTok, but you should watch it and then say, hey, look at Candace and show me her videos.
Oh, okay. I do.
I just mean I don't watch TikTok on my own phone. Right. I only watch them when you send them to me or my friend Joanne sends them. I don't actually watch them.
Well, you should watch. I'll make sure you know when Candace posts something because they're always good. All right. So thank you guys so much for listening again. We hope you enjoyed our live show that aired last week. You can rate, review, and subscribe on Apple, or follow us on Spotify or wherever you get your podcast. If you want to write in, we, kind of stopped saying that for some reason, but we need your stories. So,
well, we did say we have a bunch,
right? But we always want more.
Oh, always, because we plan to do this for a long time.
Yeah, and we get stupid excited every time we have a new email, every time we have a new review. So I don't know when it's going to get old, but it hasn't gotten old yet. So if you want to write in, if you have a story that you kind of think is bull, but you want me to try to convince you it's a ghost, I'm down for that. Let's go.
That would be fun.
myskepticalsister@gmail.com. What else? Follow us on our social on Facebook. We've got a fan page. We have something on Instagram. We also have a TikTok.
And stay tuned for all the ghost tour adventures that Erin's about to go on.
Yes, I'm so excited. I hope something happens.
I'm going to be lost. Well, okay, listen. This is why you need to send something in, because she's going to be off drinking on the beach all week long. I'm going to have my children and all of her children. I'm going to need something. You all know me. I get into my head when I'm in this stuck in house with kids. Your kids will be fine. Again, guilt-free, go have fun. But you know how you can help me through it? Rate us. I love those ratings. Okay, unless you're like the one that did a 1 star.
Oh, we did get our first 1 star.
I thought that was hilarious. I loved it.
However, you pointed at the 1 star the day we were going on for our live show. I was like, why would you point that out today?
I know. What was it? You said something about like we did something big, like we made a certain number or something in a short amount of time. You're like, check this out. I was like, and we got a 1 star review. You're like, why would you tell me that on the day of our live show? I was like, because that means we know we are doing something. Because if you get a 1 star, it's not your family or friends that are going to actually put that 1 star there, hopefully. But that means you got a hater somewhere on the lines. And you're only big if you got a hater.
Hater's going to hate.
Hater's going to hate. Player's going to play. So we'll keep on playing. We'll keep on having fun. Wait, players aren't a good thing, are they? Are players a good thing?
I don't think they're great.
I'd rather be a player than a hater. I'd rather have fun than being hating on people. Hey, listen.
Do you want me to sing my So Fine line again?
Please don't. But anyway, we are so big. We got a 1 star review. I think it's so great. I think it's hilarious.
But don't all start doing it.
Oh, no. We just wanted 1.
We don't want a bunch. Well, you took that to a weird spot.
Yeah, we did. We
got 1. That's plenty. No more.
We proved it that we can get 1 at no more.
Yeah, you all go counteract that 1 with some 5 stars.
That's right. And make me happy while she's off drinking.
Even better, write a little message. Boy, do we love those.
Oh, they're so fun. They're so fun.
And y'all have been so sweet.
Yes, we love every one of you. I mean, we did give out flowers at the live podcast that we had. It was like that live thing we did. We did give out flowers to a couple of people that just meant a lot as far as helping us get to that point. But y'all, we could give every one of you flowers if we had the money for it, because without you guys, we would be nothing.
That's right. And if you want to help us get that money, you can also join us on Patreon.
Oh, way to work that in,
I
Erin.
forgot to say that one. You can find us on Patreon.
Yeah, and when you come back, we'll have our next movie night coming right up, right?
Yeah, really soon after.
Oh,
well,
that'll be fun.
we got a few weeks after, but
okay,
because we did it June's early.
Oh, that's right. So we'll have July's.
Yeah, we'll have July's movie night on July 15th, I think. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's the Thursday. And it's going to be great. I don't know what we're going to watch yet, but
they're so
hopefully
fun.
it'll be better than the last one we picked. That was a dud.
Yeah, but it was funny.
It was funny.
I kind of like the duds. I think they're funny. But anyway, you all have a great night, right? It feels weird to end it like this because normally you just give your spiel and then so you end it. You do a better job ending it.
Oh, I think I did the spiel. All right. So follow us in those ways, help support us that way, and tell a friend. And we really appreciate all you guys have done for us. We will talk to you all next week.
Cheers.
La 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 la.
Oh, and he says, it's so cute. It's like he does. He watches me all the time. But he's like, hey, Google, play. Because,
oh, no, you're going to make
your
Google go.
Look, she is just listen. But he'll.
Some music on Apple Music.
Hey, Google, stop.
Sorry. And then she goes on to say, I think she's from the UK. So
she says she thinks she's from the UK.
No, she knows where she's from. I'm saying I'm pretty sure somewhere in here she says that. I need you to do that whole thing again. They say what now? How's that go again?
They say that I'm so fine.
So fine.
Fine.
What is this? Is this a new song?
It's the song. It's on the radio all the time.
I don't listen to the radio.
So I had thoroughly.
You're still on that fine.
Fine.
I thoroughly.
So funny. Did you just call me a bitch?
Well,
Okay.
in a good way though. Like,
Oh.
yeah, bitch. Like in a cool, hip, I'm really cool way. Did you not pick up that?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I got it.
Is it because I used the word hip? That's what made you realize I was so cool.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
it. That's it. You nailed it.